Nation, get your drinks, get your smokes, get your cheers, your dinner, whatever you need to relax. The boys are here. In today's episode, ESPN is making noise about them rankings. We're going to talk about it today. And to kick us off, our boy Black in the house.
Yeah, man. You know how the rankings go. Let's see if we agree with them. The Bay Boys are back. We reacting to them. So get your popcorn ready or whatever.
Raiders!
All that matters is today. Stay present, man. 3.5 hours. Do this together, man. It starts with us. It ends with us.
This is no ordinary job.
That silver and black is different.
This is the silver and black.
It just hits different.
This is the Raiders.
Ride for the brand. The greatness of the Raiders lies in its future. Okay, the best is yet to come.
I'm officially a Raider. I'm excited to be humble and hungry and get to work.
That's big boy football, right? You got Moss. That's what you want to see right there.
The grit of this franchise sticks out. This is a historic franchise. You know, it's really important to me that we're a gritty team, that the way that they were back in the old days.
Just amazing concentration.
But why not us? Why not this staff? You know, why not this group of players?
There's a certain mentality and play style that's expected from different organizations. Right.
I just want to do my 111. I believe that leadership is earned. It's not given.
I feel like I've always been meant to be a Raider.
Throw wide open. First down and more. It's Jack Bish.
So that first step was transferring and challenging myself, being in an uncomfortable environment. Because when you're uncomfortable, you're able to grow. It's the motto of the Raiders. Once a Raider, always a Raider.
That's what we're going to be about, winning.
Thank you. God bless. Thank you guys for coming.
Yo, new intro.
Boys are back. Them boys are back. AKA Freddy. Welcome. We got a new episode for y'all today. We got some good, fun rankings to talk about. But before that, at the weekend, how was the weekend? Let us know in chat anyone who's joining us at the weekend was.
Yeah, you know, weekends are made for fun, so I guess you guys had fun. I mean, we only got like a couple more weekends left before it's.
Before it's for these. Yeah, I know.
What's
my
up?
family.
What's up,
my
AR in the chat? I want to say who's that?
We got someone in the chat.
AKA Freddie. What's good with him?
Yeah. My family did a bunch of berry picking this weekend. Blueberry picking and raspberry picking. So it was a whole picking a weekend. So yeah, but I think we are literally one more weekend before or 2 more weekend before the season start. Oh,
I think it's like 15 days before camp start.
The team just released actually info on this. Let's August 2nd. Right?
August 2nd.
Let's see. When does it start? Official start. Raiders opening. This is opening training camp. This is when it's open to the public. 5 days are open to the public. August 2nd, August 3rd, August 7th, 8th, and 11th are open to the public. So they just announced that. Yeah. So that's the Raiders just announced that today. There will be 5 practices open to the public. We're not anywhere close to that, right? So we won't be able to get any info on that.
Yeah, camp starts before then, right? On it?
Yeah, camp starts before then. When is the official?
I think it's 15 days away though.
15 days away.
That today.
Okay,
15
perfect.
days or something like that. So it's essentially like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's 2 weeks. So we are talking 2 weeks. Monday of 2 weeks from now. Okay. Oh, so like the 27th. Perfect.
28th, I think.
28th.
Something like that.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is perfect. 2 more weeks, and then we got football back because as soon as training camp starts, it's a go. Like it's gonna be nonstop. Just so y'all know, we got a lot planned for today. That's gonna be really fun. But we do need to let you know that Vented, what up? As soon as training camp starts, like this, our channels we're gonna be flying through. You guys are gonna be seeing us on this channel at least twice a week. I think we could talk about this right now because I think maybe we could squeeze in 3 times a week if we do like a Sunday post game evening recap. That'd be like an hour 30 minutes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I just give you your initial reactions of the game,
Yeah. Like after the game, we kind of take like a couple hours just to kind of go spend time with the family, come back that Sunday evening. Because the thing is, this year all of our games are on Sundays, right? We have no primetime games, right? Yeah, we don't even have a Sunday night game. So that works out real well for us. Yo, what up, Stocktown Mike? That works out real well for us because we can just watch the game on our channels and then that evening come back and do a quick like hour 30-minute recap and then come back on Monday and do a full 2-hour breakdown of the game. Yeah. That way we can squeeze in 3. Okay, so you guys could potentially be seeing us 3 times a week once the season starts together and individually. We still got to do our own channels individually just to keep raising the stocks over there. Yo, good and black. Yeah, what up, fam? Okay, so we are gonna get started. We got a big one today. We got a big one. Are you able to pull up the ESPN's the rankings so we can, especially with the O-line, starting with the O-line? So ESPN is releasing their rankings for the season already. This is a start. So we got their first rankings of the season. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. We got 3 rankings. We got the O-line ranking. We got the tight end ranking, and then we got the edge rushers. No, 4 edge rushers ranking and running back ranking. And yes, the Raiders do pretty well on all of those. So we're going to talk about those for sure. All right, we are starting with the O-line ranking, and my boys bringing that up for us here. While we do that, any news from the nation? Anything we should talk about? Anything like extremely important nation-wise?
I don't know.
I haven't heard of anything major happening with the nation. I think everything's pretty
nothing major.
major. Okay. Yeah, the only major news in the NFL world right now is this rankings that just came out. And look at that. Penei Sewell. First of all, does anyone disagree with Penei Sewell? Now, I think you should be looking at interior because Penei Sewell is not interior, right? He's outside.
Yeah, I was about to go to it, but you started talking about him. I was like, oh, okay. Interior, right?
I do think Penei Sewell is number 1. And that boy is only 25 years old. Woo! Right, so here's the thing. I also do believe that Tyler Smith is also number 1 because Tyler Smith was drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, I think 2 years ago, and they drafted him mid 2022. Yeah. No, so I do know he's for sure like that boy's lockdown guard, like straight lockdown. I do know that for sure. But on this list, so this is only interior. Let me know in chat, where do y'all think Lindenbaum is gonna rank here? Because yes, Lindenbaum is on this. This is top 10, and Lindenbaum is on this list. Where would you put Lindenbaum in all interior in the NFL? Interior meaning guard and center. Where do you think he would rank if he's top 10?
No, it's kind of tough because I don't know how they differentiate between guard and center.
And center. Okay. That's a good point.
So what will how do they grade how do they like weigh it? I'm not sure because I know he should be in the top 10, but I don't know what would make him top 2 or top 3, or even in this case, the creed is The number
Wow.
one, the top center, right? He's number 3. So
Oh, Creed
what
Humphrey.
makes
Okay,
him
yeah.
better than the guard?
Well,
And
let's see. So Tyler Smith is number one, and they got him. His win rate, they said, is 72.1% in the running and 95.2% in the passing game. That's pretty high, especially that running. That running is really high for NFL. So it makes sense that he's number one, right? But Creed Humphreys, and remember, we already talked about Creed Humphrey and just how good he is in the past because he's pushing the 98.5 in the passing game. That means you give up no hurries, right? Because if you're that high in passing, that's not just sacks. That means like you gave up like maybe half a hurry. Like your quarterback was just chilling in the backfield.
so let's see. Oh, who are we talking about? Creed, or are we talking
Yeah,
about?
Creed Humphrey. Let's talk about Creed Humphrey, right? So Creed Humphrey right now is he was ranked third. That's the number one center, and we got him at 95.5 passing block rate. I mean, that means from his side, Mahomes didn't have to worry about nothing, right? And he's in the
Yeah.
center. So here's the question: is centers more valuable than guards? Who? This is a legitimate question because the NFL is asking this question right now. Who's more valuable, guard or center? Because guess what? Lindenbaum just did with his pay. He's not just the number one paid center. I think he's the number one paid interior lineman, right?
Yeah,
And the
yeah. He just happened to fall in to out his rookie contract at the right time.
at the right time. Okay. But
Yeah,
part of the reason why we rank him so high and why part of the reason why we paid him so much is because of what he does in being able to understand the defense and then, making those plays with the quarterback, right? So it's not just that he can block, it's that he needs to be able to understand what's happening. And based on everything we know about Lindenbaum, that's actually what his special ability is that he can read the defense really well. And I think this is the reason why, he reset the market with his pay because, he has that really special ability because guards can't really do that. Only centers can really do that kind of thing where they can read the defense and read that back to the QB. At least as far as I know, right? So So we're talking about because Lindenbaum here, no one's talking because everyone's still trying to figure out the spell check. That's fine. Lindenbaum is going to be ranked number 8 in this, right?
yeah.
Now
So
let's look at what his stats are.
yeah, and right before we go to Creed Humphrey, which would be the number one center here.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys look at this last line, it keeps jumping out at me. It says, "We didn't game plan much for him, if at all," said a veteran NFL defensive coach. "We were more worried about Trey Smith." How do you
Okay.
feel about that? Being the top rated center, but you're not the number one scheme. So when you ask what's more important,
Oh,
I really think the center is the most important
I,
lineman there, other
I,
than left tackle. But
and I'm gonna agree. I think I'm gonna agree. Chat. Honestly, honest question. You gotta let us know what you think on this because I do believe there is a movement right now within the NFL when it comes to guards and centers, and who is the actual linchpin of the offense. Look, guys, we don't talk about centers. When was the last time? I don't remember the last time prior to maybe Jason Kelsey that the NFL was talking about centers at all. I mean, sure, we talked about Rodney Hudson, but that's about as far as it's ever gone, right? But we also knew that Rodney Hudson was like, okay, the man, right?
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
mean the
go ahead.
linemen don't really get a lot of shine,
Mm-hmm.
so you really don't talk about them a lot unless you come into a situation like Linderbaum, like you go into a new team and you're
Mm-hmm.
you're already deemed elite. Uh, and then he came out in free agency and then reset the market crazy like. So that's why we kind of pay a lot of attention to him. But number 8 is fine, it's good. I think that number will probably go up. He was
To go
rated
up.
10
Yeah, exactly. He
last
went
year.
from 10 to 8. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So again, we're not talking about, and when we get to other players, it gets much more interesting. I mean, we can't really be all that deep on Linderbaum, right? Because everything that he didn't do it with us. So we're just
Right.
inheriting the best. And again, as much as you want to knock the Raiders for how much we paid this guy, but it's if you are paying attention to where NFL scheming is going, I don't think there's ever been a time where centers were seen as, oh, if you are able to understand what the defense is doing, the communication between you and the quarterback is just that much better, right? And now with a lot more zoning type scheming blocks and a lot of RPOs, and I've been saying this for a while, that RPOs are starting to come into the NFL. And those RPOs are going to be really good if your if somebody in your lineman kind of understands what the defense is trying to do on those schemes. So yeah, just on that front alone, football's getting hella fun. But yeah, I think for Linderbaum, I don't think there's anything more we can say because again, we're just getting somebody great. We didn't create him. We're just going to use him now to wreck the NFL, especially Patrick Mahomes and his team.
Yeah, one of the things that this paragraph highlighted about Linderbaum is he's more like a throwback, where he can go from the center and then you can go to the next level and block. So his athleticism is his superpower, along with the communication, aka knowledge of what's going on, which is big for a quarterback like Mendoza. Granted, I don't believe that Mendoza is going to start this year, but he might at some point. I mean, and when he does, and if Linderbaum is here, because this is a 2-year contract or something like that. What year? How many years is this?
Oh, it's a 3-year contract.
3-year contract. So whenever Mendoza comes in, it's going to be helpful for Mendoza because Mendoza doesn't know all the line calls. He don't know everything that he's seeing, and he can rely on somebody that knows it, and not only knows it, it can communicate it. And that's what Linderbaum is good for. Linderbaum's going to be in a new scheme, so it might not be as it's going to be slightly different than being with Lamar Jackson. Although I know a lot of people think Lamar Jackson is a run first quarterback, but he's not. He hasn't been a run first quarterback in a few seasons now, since everybody he couldn't throw from the pocket. And then even last year he was injured with his knee and or something. He had leg injury, so he was in the pocket more last year, and his getting rid of the ball was like top tier. So so it's somewhat changed, but it's still a little different when you have a Lamar Jackson back there that sometimes will do off schedule plays and has the ability to run at any moment. So defense has always got to respect that and put players in position in the event he does decide to run. But for us, Linderbaum is going to be more traditional. We're going to be running the zone scheme, and you block somebody, go to the next level, and I just think that we'll be able to emphasize his dominant run pass blocking, and that will make his pass blocking go up.
Okay, perfect. So let me couple of points on that. Thanks for bringing that up. So this said, quote, he already ranks second among centers in pass block with the rate of 90. So that is right behind Humphrey. But they were particular about mentioning how good he is against the run. And I also saw exactly this point, just how good he is against the run. Now, somebody correct us if I'm wrong. I do think the Ravens did run some kind of an RPO offense with Lamar Jackson. I've seen traces of them running something that looks close to a college-style RPO. And part of that has to be that your center is really good at understanding, one, the defense, and really good at pursuing those. Because in an RPO, if the running back takes off, that's considered a run. So it also means that, and if you've seen the clips of Linderbaum. This is what I'm really excited about. He's really good on the second level blocking, like you mentioned. Like it's not just that he'll take the guy in front of him away. It's like he's gonna put the guy in front of him so much out of the play that he's able to assist in the second half. Now, here's a question that I'm curious though: how much would the person that you put next to him matter? Or back to the conversation of improving the people next to you, do you think that he's going to improve the people next to him because of his play?
I definitely think that works both ways. It matters who you play with because if you have to, so to speak, think for the lineman next to you, which sometimes it happens, because you might just be the better player and all that other stuff, and the other player might not be on the level with you, so you might have to, coach him up or put him in position and things like that. So he's kind of like you're the go-to. Yeah. So you're going to make players around you better because you're helping them do their job.
Can you give me a
Now,
quick
if you
second? Can you pause for 1 second? Chat is like really not happening right now. What is happening in chat? Yo, chat, what's happening? Can I get some Raiders in here? Yo, give me some Raiders, man. I'm feeling I mean, my spirit bomb is not feeling right now. I need some Raiders up in here. If you put no.
yeah, hit the like button.
Get us some Raiders, man. Get us some Raiders. What is happening in here?
Yeah, hit the like button.
I'm gonna let you continue in a second. Yeah, just imagine above my head there is a spirit bomb. I am Goku. I need some spirit bomb. It comes from those Raiders. So
Right.
give me plenty of those. But continue your thought if you were not. I don't think you were finished.
Yeah. And so then conversely, if you have a player like a JPJ next to him that kind of understands the center position at a good level, at a high level, he started in the league as a center. So the communication is going to be a little bit better. You might not have to communicate as much because they'll see the same things. Or if something gets suggested, JPJ know exactly what it is they talking about. So I mean, consequently, the players next to you can make you better too, because then your workload isn't so high.
So what you're trying to say is let's not trade JPJ because JPJ may actually reach his full potential.
Yeah, we're not going to trade JPJ.
Linderbaum was the Goku to the Kakarot, and now he's going to be like, I am Vegeta. Okay, look.
Yeah, because essentially that center position is where we were lacking leadership at.
Okay,
and they didn't want to give it to JPJ, and because he was, I guess, too young or whatever, or too aggressive. Now that's a thing, being too aggressive. Which can it can have its
in modern NFL.
drawbacks.
Yes, in modern NFL, that is a thing. Being too aggressive in modern NFL is a thing, right?
Yeah, explain that.
I mean, and I know that seems weird, but if you look at the rules that the NFL has made over the past several years, the NFL has become a less aggressive league, and it partly has to do with the fact that human bodies is what we're talking about. We got to protect people's brains, people's legs, people's limbs. We got to protect all of that. So, yes, the NFL has cracked down on just more aggressive plays. And this is not just the NFL, just being the NFL. It's because a lot of players are spoken up and say, hey, some of these hits are just not okay. You can't just blindside me when I'm trying to tackle the guy in front of me and you come out of nowhere and I don't see you coming through. Look, when you're weighing 300 pounds, crashing into a 200-pound human being, I'm sorry, I need to know where you're coming from, because otherwise we're playing two different games. So, yeah, I think that's the reason why the NFL has cracked down on aggression. And, yeah, JPJ needs to show that, yeah, he can succeed in a current modern day NFL, right? Because that's what we make great players.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. Like we
definitely
definitely soften the game because of that. Like the number one rule in football is what? Keep your head on a swivel.
Yeah.
Keep your head on a swivel, because you don't never know where somebody's coming from. Even I get it. Blindside blocks is kind of like unexpected, and you can hurt somebody like that. So I do understand that they're trying to take some of the inherent dangers out of the game because of, I don't know, I don't know, not only the new society, but social warriors, and I don't know, just all kind of other agendas other than football. Uh,
Hmm.
but so they soften the game. But it is what it is. I'm not totally opposed to it. But as far as them having the ability to just go out there and ball out, I think they should be able to play a little bit. But the rules are the rules. So
Okay, I personally, I consider that I don't think there's been any rules that have been egregious enough to I think all the rules that I've seen are generally for the safety of the players. Again,
well,
especially as
also
somebody
for
who
the
plays like safety or wide receiver. Yeah, I don't like a big man coming at me out of. I don't want that much. I don't want to have to do that much swiveling of my neck. I'm a human being, not a giraffe. So I just and look, the neck can only turn so much. So yeah.
well, it's motivated by money too, though, because they want to be able to have the product on the field longer.
Exactly.
So
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, it's a
And
business
especially,
decision.
I mean, uh, and again, even when you look at somebody like a Genty, like, yeah, Genty's built like a rock. Guess what? I want Genty to play for the next 12 to 15 years with the Raiders, right? I don't want another Turd Gurley type of situation, right? I mean, if he's going to be a rock, I want that rock to be very sustainable for the long while. So let's move on into the next ranking on our list. Chat's still not quite hopping for us tonight, but it's okay. We're still here.
Where you want to go to the
Let's go. Let's go.
tight ends?
Yeah, let's go tight ends. Let's go tight ends. I think Brock Bauer was a shocking spot on this one, actually.
Shocking.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Number
There you go. He's number one. Yeah. Yeah.
the
Okay.
football
The
robot from
robot from
heaven.
heaven. Yeah.
He
Yeah.
should be number one. He gotta be number one.
Okay. Okay. Let me mull it over. I want to read what they say about it. I want to read because one is like, wow, really one. Okay. Like I'm not saying he doesn't deserve one. I'm just saying like whenever you get one, I want to know what separates you from the rest.
Great
And
question.
so let's see what ESPN thinks about that. Bauer's second season was marred by injuries and oh my word. Okay. We're still doing this, ESPN. Words that nobody knows.
Yeah.
Porous.
Horace.
It just means terrible old line play. Got it. Okay. For that, he mostly gets a pass in the voting, but his second conservative number one ranking was more contested this time around. Yeah, and that's my point. Like, okay, he did get injured. Even despite that, you still think he deserves number one. Like, okay. Despite a respectable 64 catch for 680 yards and 7 touchdowns in 12 games, last summer, Bauer's fending off the field convincingly thanks to his setting. Yeah, okay. Again, why is he number one this time though? He's better.
Let's keep going.
Okay, as far as route running, okay, separation, zone instinct. Okay, if you've heard my talk about Bowers, this is everything I said about him, what makes him special as a running tight end. So they say, as far as running routes, separation, zone instinct, yard after catch ability combination is better than the field in those areas. Yes. Remember what I said about Bowers is he kind of seems to just flow on the field. Like he doesn't seem to like understand that there might not be space. He just like creates his own space. Like he seems to understand where to make cuts to create good space. A yard down, a down year won't. So they say a down year won't change that. I'm still not understanding why though. Okay.
Well, because last year he was number one,
Right.
and he's the gold standard, so to speak, in tight ends right now.
Okay. He runs
I
a
mean,
top speed of
because
19.58 miles per hour. That's incredible.
because the top tight ends like Kittle and I'm talking about like just historically, Kittle in recent history, Kittle and Kelsey and all that. So
Uh-huh.
when you start comparing Brock to them guys, then there's a level of separation. I mean a lot because of he's younger for one,
Yo, what up? I am. What up?
and so I think they kind of, although they say this list is what they expect this year, they probably
Hmm.
expect a big boom again this year with
Okay.
Brock Bowers.
Okay. So let's see what they say about Trey McBride. Let's see what they say.
Here we
Because
go.
I'll say
Yeah,
this
I was
for
glad that
Trey
you were saying that.
McBride. For Trey McBride, Madden has him ranked rated 99 for Trey McBride. So Trey
Yeah,
McBride is
look at the
ranked
season he had
rated
last year.
higher than Bauer. Okay.
Oh, really?
McBride, yeah. So real quick for the Madden plug, because I'm gonna do a Madden episode when the game comes out. Bowers is ranked 97 in Madden, and Trey McBride is ranked 99. So Trey McBride made the 99 club in Madden, which is only 6 to 8 players make it. So it's pretty rare. Okay, let's keep going. So McBride made a serious case for number 1, earning more than 30% of the first place votes. All but 2 of those votes were inside the top 3 from McBride, so he got 126 catch in 2025, which ranked most in a season for NFL record. Yeah, that was the NFL record for most catches by a tight end in the season. Also in Madden, Judge Kittle is also ranked higher than Bauer in Madden. Okay, so McBride 72.9 receiving yards per game. That's incredible. Okay, and nearly 60 more than any other tight end. Yeah, that's incredible. Okay,
Yeah, it is.
Okay, it's 566 yards. 566 yards after the catch. What?
Keep
What?
going. Keep going.
Shit.
Keep
We're
going.
90 more than any other player at his position. And it's 11 receiving touchdown, tied for second league wide.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we may have 2 gods in our presence when it comes to tight ends. Oh, I'm gonna be watching this to his career. Oh my god, that's incredible. Okay, long known as a receiving threat, McBride was improved in all. That's a massive improvement. Ball skills, ball in hand, physical ability, just an extremely impressive player across the board. Boy, we about to sit this boy down and give him a crown. Okay. And is not bad in the run game. Is 71.5 receiving expected point added, was easily the best among tight ends and 4th amongst all pass catches. Oh wow.
So my thing about that is this.
Oh wow. Okay.
He looked like Brock Bowers after Brock Bowers already did it.
Okay.
And being that he just had a season like that, you can't put him over Bowers because Bowers was injured. But if they were to have similar seasons like they
I feel
did
so
last
much better
year,
too.
they will switch.
Bro, I feel so much better. Like Brock Bowers is 3 years younger than this dude.
Yeah.
I mean,
so if he started having seasons like that, then that closes the gap, because the gap
yeah.
between Bowers and everybody else, because everybody saw Bowers trending up. Like, because granted, he only had a rookie season, and everybody kind of put him at best tight end, and I'm like, you can't really do that until like 2 or 3 years into
exactly.
into their career, because you don't know how that second year is going to play out, because that's why they call it sophomore slump sometimes, because the league catches up with a lot of players.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Yep.
You know, so.
Okay, no, okay. More that I dig into it, that totally makes sense, because I was like, those are some pretty impressive numbers, and they are impressive numbers. I didn't look at the age. I didn't realize it was, because I thought he was new to the league. He's not new to the league. He just upped his game.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, granted, his last year ranking was 4. He went up to 2, and his lowest ranking was 5. So he came into the game with some level of skill, and now it's like he gets it now. He gets it.
Yeah. Okay, no. So this is great. So we do know, statistically speaking, it takes tight ends about 3 years to fully understand the game. This is why Brock Bowers is a monster, because he took that boy one game to arrive. Brock Bowers arrived as a man in the NFL, ready to go. So when Kubiak says football robot from heaven, combined with what we've already seen from his very first game, I mean, again, did we need a tight end when we drafted Bowers?
We didn't.
Are we
But he
complaining
kind of
now?
just fell into our lap though. Like we were like, "What's this? It's a $100 bill on the ground. I'm hungry
Dude.
and everything."
Remember when he was drafted? I was just like, "Oh, Brock Bowers, yeah, oh, okay, I would take a Brock Bowers." I mean, it came out of nowhere because it was not a need, it was not an expectation. It was just like, again, and here we are. Okay, they're still giving Kelsey some love. Kittle. Let me see what Kittle did real quick because he's still getting some pretty good love at the age of 32.
The only thing that's really stopping Kittle is injuries now.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm kind of surprised they're still ranking him at number 3 because injuries is kind of a thing. So let's see what he did last year. So he remained dominant with 57.1 yards per game. Okay. Second amongst, so he's actually second. Okay, that's fine. 7 touchdowns. Yeah. Okay. Good. One more person I want to see. Scroll up to Laporta real quick because Laporta is kind of coming up a bit, and Laporta is still pretty young. And Laporta has had at least 2 seasons of putting up good number.
Yeah.
So yeah, low production again due to injuries. That's gonna kind of become a thing. Injuries is, if you can stay healthy, your numbers will get a nice good bump. They didn't see a drop off in his play. He appeared in 9 games and produced a low 40 catch. Okay, enough of that. Yeah, Bowers is number 1. It's pretty clear why Bowers is number 1. Yeah, I think. Oh, let me see Colston Loveland real quick. Loveland, because that's the second year. So he also did quite well then for his first year, even though Bauer was number 1 his first year. So over the last final 4 games, over the last 4 games only. Okay. And Kyle Pitts has not been what we think he should be yet, but he'll get there.
Mark Andrews still hanging on to the top 10 list.
Mark Andrews, yeah, he's still doing this thing, and of course,
but see, he's up there. He's 30.
30.
So he's turning the corner.
Kelsey's 36. I mean, Kelsey's a legend. I hate to say it, a legend married a legend. You can't hate that. You can't hate that, right?
So he makes the top 10. I mean, it would be kind of crazy not to put him in the top 10.
Yeah, especially given that. I mean, you could always argue that they just gave it to him, but it's like, well, at 36.
Yeah, I mean, like you can't put a Fryermuth or a Cole Kmet over him.
Exactly. You can't do
all these guys up here that they have in the honorable mentions.
Somebody, let's go back one more second real quick. Dalton Kincaid, he hasn't quite broken out yet because remember, he was supposed to be like the first true like tight end breakout, and then we kind of realized maybe he'll need a couple more years. And then Bowers came on the scene. Bowers was like, "Oh no, I can do it now. Don't worry, I got you." But yeah, since Bowers, we haven't seen another tight end like Bowers before Bowers, because before Kincaid, Kyle Pitts was supposed to be the breakout, right? Remember when Kyle Pitts came into the league, we all thought, "Holy shit, this is like gonna be the Calvin Johnson of tight ends," because he was so tall and fast, but even he didn't quite break out. All right, hopping off, have a great show. All right, Jack, thanks for coming in for a bit there. What other groups? Oh, dude, let's talk about Darren Waller real quick, man. How good was Waller? How good was Darren Waller, man?
He still was good last year when he was playing.
Yeah, because he's still pretty young, right? I think he's still like 30, 32, 33.
He's that old?
I think he's younger than Kelsey. Because Kelsey's probably the oldest tight end.
Yeah, he is. Let me see how old is Waller.
Waller's 33. Yeah. So he could still keep playing for a bit if he wants to.
So the thing about his 33 is he don't have his body is not 33 in football
Exactly.
years.
Exactly. 'Cause he didn't start his career off as a rookie. He didn't really start playing until he was like in his late 20s.
Right. And then he
Yeah.
played a handful of seasons and took a break and
And then took a
played
break.
another
Yeah.
season. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, but
What?
33 is 33 too, though. So even if
But
his 33 felt more like 30, it's still 30, So
so here's what I'm curious about. This coming year, how many yards are we projecting for Bauer? Chat. You can go first, my man. Like be realistic, but give a good ballpark. Like how many yards and how many touchdowns we're thinking.
hey,
Because
thanks,
last
Jack
year we
Kenna.
were what was he at in his first year? What was Bauer's first year stats?
Brock Bowers.
Yeah, because I think he broke a couple records in his first season. I'm not. And
So
I'm.
during his uh,
Go ahead. Go ahead.
so during his 2024 rookie season, he had 1,200 receiving yards.
Okay. Yeah.
112 receptions for
Mm,
1194 and 5
mm.
touchdowns.
There you go.
See, the 5 touchdowns things to me is only 5 touchdowns. That's not a lot.
Right. For a tight end,
Yeah, it's not a lot for
2 years
1,200
ago.
yards.
2 years ago, our quarterback play was shit though.
It was inconsistent. Yeah, well,
I mean,
yeah.
it was shit. That was like Aiden O'Connell,
And Gardner
Gardner
Minshew.
Minshew. I mean, it
But
was
Gardner Minshew
bad.
was the one that got him most of these yards.
It was the
But
most yards. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
still, 5 touchdowns is questionable to me. I mean,
Questionable. Okay.
it's cool, but it doesn't scream super elite. Like,
Right.
because then the next year he came out
He got
and
7 last year.
yeah, so you know that he's going to get more than 5 the next year. You know he's going to get more than
Okay.
7 this
So
year if
give
he
me a
stays
number. Give me a number then.
injury free.
I'll give you
So
a number. I'll give you a number.
okay,
I said 1,250 yards and
12
13 touchdowns.
1250.
Yeah, and 13 touchdowns.
So 13 touchdowns. That's a
13
lot.
touchdowns. Yeah. Yeah.
I can see 1250 though. I mean, like if he had rookie season, he had about 1,200 yards.
1,200. Yeah.
I can still see that. I don't expect him to boom in numbers because I do believe that
We'll
if
spread the
we
rock around more.
exactly, we're gonna
Yeah. Yeah.
spread the rock around
Yeah.
more, and Kubiak is not gonna try to go to Bowers, every other play because he's the best receiver
I
or the
think what's
best
gonna
catcher of the ball on our team.
I
But
think what's gonna happen, legit, is I think it's gonna be pretty clear week 1 that Bowers is on a new level. Like I think it's gonna be like, oh, that the Bowers of last 2 years, that was Bowers with inconsistency. The Bowers with the Cousins, who was able to be consistent. I think we're going to. I think we're going to actually realize what robot Jesus from heaven actually means. Because I think Bowers is going to be all over the field, like legit. He will be all over the field, and he will be. And I think at the end of the day, he's going to be making more big play catches this year. I think he's going to be making more big play catches because I don't think it's going to be the short yardage guy. I actually think it's going to be the intermediate to long to medium type of guy. I think that's what it's going to be. I think we're going to be looking around like between 10 to 20 yards to try and get Bowers the play because at that point you're talking about open field. Open field is between your 10 to 20 yardage. That's open field. If you get somebody the ball in that, you can then turn that into 40, 50, 60 yards.
yeah, I'm not sure exactly how we're going to use him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they'll take the big plays away from him because we're going to have defenses spread thin because they are going to try to stop Brock initially,
Right.
and then that's why our other wide receivers, the receivers have to
Exactly.
show up. I mean, you don't have to be a lead. You don't have to be Justin Jefferson and Jordan Allison. You don't have to do all that. Just do what's
Right.
required of you. Catch the ball when it's thrown to you, so that way we can reset the calendar on whatever what we do. Run the ball, pass, pass, run, run,
Right.
pass, run. Like keep them off
But
balance. So then
right.
that way, when Brock does sprint open, boom, big play.
Well,
And,
that's exactly why I say, and that's why I say he's going to get 1250 yards, even though that seems higher, because I think it's going to become pretty clear pretty early. There's no point double teaming him because it's not going to work. He'll beat your double team, and you just have somebody else open. So I don't think teams are going to try to double team him necessarily. I think it's just going to be that the offense is just more efficient. We just run more plays. We get more big plays, and Brock Bowers is going to be the reception leaders when it comes to getting those 15 to 20 to 30 yards passes. I actually think he's going to be that person. Right. I mean, he's not going to be the 40, 50 yarder because he's not a straight line person, but he will get a lot of the 15 to 20 yards that will turn into 40 and 50 yards.
yeah, no. I think if he can have anything close to what he had his rookie season, that'll be fine. It doesn't have to be a breakout
Right.
season,
13
except
touchdowns,
for
though. What do you
touchdowns
think of that?
wise,
Because
though.
I do think 13 touchdowns is possible. I really do. Because, again, we've had bad quarterback play, but particularly in the red zone, that's been the problem. It's particularly the red zone. Not just the quarterbacks were bad in general. It's whenever we got down to 20, they just couldn't put it in the hole, right?
Yeah, I always say that, the score in the red zone, it boils down to play calling and how you
Play call.
set up your plays going into the red zone, not once you get to the red zone. There's a lot of defenses are playing bend but don't break because you might have them, they're back against the wall a little bit because you're keeping the play call off of what they think it is. They thinking it's run, you passing it. Yeah, they think you passing it, you running it. Even if they know you're running it, you're still successful. And when you do stuff like that, then when you get to the red zone, you
Uh-huh.
have the full playbook. They don't know what you're going to do. They don't know if you're going to run it, if you're going to pass it. Then you reach in there and you pull one of them plays out that you know should work, and then it kind of works that way. But if you just get to the red zone and then you like, all right, now give me your best 3 plays, and we're going to try to score one of these best 3 plays. Yeah, that's not necessarily the way you really go about it. I mean, you can, but it's like 50-50 at that point. And then actually it's probably less than that because now the defenses are condensed. They're not all over the field. Everything's
Right.
within 20 yards. So the
Okay.
advantage is the defenses at that point.
Quick stats for you guys. Last year, the Raiders reached the end zone 47 times,
Ouch.
placing them near the bottom of the league in the red zone
So we didn't
frequency.
even get there.
That's my point. Like, we didn't even get to the red zone very much last year. So that 5 touchdown is like, yeah, because we got there 47 times. And
Was that last year?
yeah.
How many touchdowns did Brock have last year?
He had 7 last year. So he had 7 last year. And
Okay.
so again, the lack of efficiency, which we know has been primarily due to just bad O-line play and bad play calling. Once we get those things in place, we should see more red zone visits. Let's see what the top red zone visit was last year.
Well, we definitely should incrementally get better once we get there because, getting to the red zone and also being able to punch the ball in the red zone.
Let's see. Top team last year. Tyler Lockett. No, that's false. Last year was 2025 season, right?
Yeah. Brock will have 13 to 16 touchdowns. Mayer will have catches too. How many touchdowns do you think Mayer gonna have? He had 1 last year.
I mean, he had 1 touchdown last year. Oh, okay. So the Philadelphia Eagles recorded the highest red zone scoring percentage in the NFL regular season last year, capitalizing on the opportunity with league best touchdown rate of 70.21%. And the next after them was Buffalo with 67, followed by Cincinnati Bengals with 66. If the Raiders are at the bottom of the league, We got there 47. I think we will have pushed around. I'm thinking around 30% red zone efficiency. That's just a ballpark guess. But the Raiders would have been. We're low.
Yeah,
So
because we couldn't get to the red zone to even
exactly.
score in the red zone.
So all these numbers, I don't. I feel like 30-something% efficiency is too low. Let me look at the actual efficiency. If somebody can type quicker than I am, please do. I want to see Raiders red zone efficiency last year. In 2025 season. Efficiency. Oh, it was exactly 50%. We ranked 26, and it was exactly 50%. So we got
what's
there.
the league
So
standard?
we got there low at 47, and we only hit
Half the time.
50% of half the time. I mean, when the highest is hitting 72% every time they get there, and we're hitting 50% and getting there less. Oh no, the improvement to the team is going to be catastrophic for the NFL because they're going to be like, what is this? A competent rated team? Like, yeah, because we have what it takes we finally put together what it takes to make a team. First you get the players, and then you get the coaches, and then you go tell them just win.
So the 50% red zone touch, and that's for touchdown efficiency at that, not scoring efficiency.
Oh yeah, touchdown efficiency. Yeah, touchdown efficiency.
Yeah, and so that's ranked 24th in the NFL. So
You see
that's
47.
the
Okay.
bottom tier, but at least we ain't at the rock bottom. So
Who was
you're
rock
saying
bottom?
there's
Ooh,
a
try to
chance
guess who
we
rock
could be
bottom was.
better.
Miami Dolphins. I bet you they were rock bottom. Their Dolphins' offense was bad last year. They couldn't do nothing. So we're seeing 47. 47 efficiency.
They might have rounded it up to 50, but what's that? They said the for what season is that 5 for 7? Because it says the Raiders score 18 touchdowns and 36 red zone opportunities. That's for touchdowns.
So we scored 18 touchdowns last year.
Yeah, out of 36 attempts.
Sheesh. That's brutal. That's so bad.
Yeah, this is what I believe right here. Once Kirk Kubiak's offense get going, it's going to
exactly.
pick your poison in the red zone.
Dude, here's what I'm thinking, Black. Here's what is so frustrating about talking about the Raiders this year. People do not realize, if you don't watch the Raiders, you don't realize how much last year wasn't football that the Raiders were playing.
Exactly.
It wasn't football.
Exactly. Exactly. That's a strong point because a lot of the deficiencies wasn't because the team was that bad. The team was that bad because who was leading them. And we don't know who was leading them because the head coach was fighting with the offensive coordinator, but he was also funking with the defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
But the offensive coordinator had the head coach's son on his staff, and then the offensive coordinator was sabotaging the quarterback that he had because he wanted a different quarterback. I mean, like, it just was so much going on, bro.
So when you put that into perspective and then you add the numbers that we're seeing, it's just like if the Raiders make a 50% increase, that would still bump them up by 10 points in regards to ranking compared to what they were last year. I mean,
That's a lot.
We're literally saying we don't even have to do anything other than just show up every Sunday and play a little bit of football to be better, for the offense to run better. I don't know how you can get a team to be that bad as we did last year. Whoever orchestrated that, whatever guy orchestrated that.
Red zone is more play calling than players. I mean, like usually within the 20s, I mean, you can put it on the player because the player can make a big play. It's a lot of field to work with, all of that. But once you get within the 20-yard line, it's all about play calling, not
It's
the
all about
play
play
calls
calling.
that you call once you're there so much as it is the play calls that you call to get there. Because let's say you get like a 40, 50-yard play right there
Mhm.
to get down in the red zone. I'm sure the percentages goes down for you scoring because you didn't methodically get your way there and you didn't keep the defense off guard. I'm not saying that's the only way you got to score, but what I'm saying is when you go down there 12, 13, 14, 15 play drives, for one, the defense is exhausted mentally
Mhm.
and physically
Mhm.
because they keep throwing everything at you and you keep succeeding. I mean, they might stop you a play or two, but then you make it up by getting another first down. So
Mm.
once you get like 2 or 3 first downs on a drive and you get in the red zone, you can get another first down. And if you were to get that other first down, then it just makes it tougher on the defense because you methodically went down there versus chunk
Exactly.
play and you get there and now you're looking for the best play and then you got to go and then in those situations you don't look so much about plays as much as you look for players. Like you got to find your players in that
Mm.
situation.
Mm. Hmm. And as it were, the Raiders, the one thing the Raiders I've been building for the past several years are people who are in theory and in actual showing good in the red zone. Not just Bowers, but Michael Mayer is also very good in the red zone, and that was one of his staples coming out of Notre Dame,
I think Michael
right?
Mayer, I think, yeah, he was highly touted, right?
Right.
And I think he all right, but I think even if we didn't have Brock Bowers, right? If we didn't have Brock
Mm.
Bowers and he was our premier tight end, he wouldn't be on that top 10 list. I don't even think he would be an honorable mention. I really just think Mayer's just not particularly. I mean, he's
Here's
a
the question.
decent wide
Here's the
receiver.
question. Is it more like, well, you're on a team with Bowers, and that's kind of a team can only have one great tight end, right? No, oh, the closest we got is New England with the boy,
Yeah.
that boy. But
Well, but when Bowers is out and he's in, like that's how he
mm,
got a lot of his time because Bowers was out.
right,
You know,
okay,
he it was catching balls and everything, but it's just look at how often he gets hit and how hard he
mm,
gets hit. Like they
okay.
really be hitting Mayer like a lot, and he doesn't flash to me elite
So you
or
mean like
even
you're talking like
touch.
the defense hits him,
Yeah, a
but
lot. He
like you
gets
say,
he gets cracked.
but are you saying like he's soft, like he doesn't have the aggression?
Well, I don't know. No, he has the aggression, but you can't keep getting hit like that. It's almost like they see him with the
Mm,
ball, they gang tackle him because they're like, you know what? It's kind of like feasting, like Shaq say, barbecue chicken. So they just go
right.
after him because they're trying to break
Now,
him really.
I don't want to put no negative name on my boy, but what I'm trying to get is actually what I am is getting at about the emotional part of it, and what I'm trying to suggest is it because he's not putting up a I'm a NFL tight end. Like if you're gonna come at
Right.
me, I'm gonna rip your head off. Is it basically
Well,
like they see him as fresh meat?
yeah, they see him as fresh meat, and he doesn't give you a threat that he's going to hit you for 90 or
Okay,
100 yards or 2
okay,
touchdowns. Like
okay.
we know, they know that Brock Bowers can damn near score on any play, right? So the level of respect that he get versus Mayer is like night and day. And I
Okay.
don't necessarily like to use the extreme when
Here's
I'm
the thing, though.
comparing
Okay.
somebody, but even Mayer compared to like the league, he's middle tier
Middle
tight
tier.
end. Like,
Yeah. He was a second round talent for a tight end, right? Which in the NFL, a second round talent for a tight end means you are middle of the league to bottom middle at best. Because as a tight end, if you're not getting drafted in the first, you're not seen as a potential Hall of Famer unless you break out like a Darren Waller, right? If you want to make it over to my channel as well, put some likes on that on my streams. That would be great. We got 5 likes going on there right now. That's fantastic. Hop up the channel, get some likes on here. Let's get the algorithm going. Okay, we can move on from as much as I would love to keep keep it up. We can move on from tight ends because there is
Yeah.
also a running back ranking that I saw.
Yeah, let me read
And
this
there
one
is
real
an
quick.
edge ranking as well.
Yeah, let me read this. It says if Michael Mayer keeps it together emotionally, I think Kubiak's going to really spark him. I will agree with that. I definitely think he'll have more than one touchdown, and his yards will
Yeah.
increase. So I
But
agree.
but the thing, that's the thing though. He may not necessarily be a yak type of tight end because he is bigger body than Bauer, and we do need a tight end that can block, especially if you're going to be running 12 and 13 personnel. Having a tight end that is able to block would help with that scheme. So the question is, can he still be extremely useful for the team, even if it doesn't show up in the same type of numbers as Bowers is clearly going to get? Because Bowers is the numbers type of tight end, which will make Mayer the workhorse tight end, perhaps, who's going to have to block and have to catch and have to do other dirty work like an Ian Thomas, but younger.
Yeah. Well, that's where he can become a real good sleeper because if Bowers can drag the defense in one direction and he's on,
Okay. Okay.
up the seam or in the other direction,
Hmm.
then maybe he can capitalize that way. It kind of just depends on how Kubiak schemes because he might go 12 personnel, he might go 13 personnel.
13.
You go 13
Okay.
personnel, then you might hold in Ian Thomas to block. Um, and then you send Mayer on the shorter route while Brock runs off the
Of
safeties
the
or
same
something
thing. Yeah.
like that. So
Um.
he definitely
Yeah,
can
that'll
eat.
work.
It
Yeah.
just depends on how Kubiak decides to set that up.
Well, what about this though? What about this though? I think it may also depend on one. We don't have a number one receiver right now. I think that person is going to be Malik Benson. Is it Malik or Malachi? Malik Benson. Yeah.
That's
I
good.
think I think it's going to be that person. However, if he doesn't emerge in the first couple of weeks, Mayer may end up taking a lot more of those passes, more in like short yardage. We're talking between 5, 6, 7, 8. That's where I think Michael Mayer is really gonna feast short yardage. Wait, so okay, hear this. Michael Mayer may not feast in terms of yardage, but he may get a lot of first downs. I can see that being a system for
Yeah,
him,
yeah, for sure.
right?
And I wouldn't be
Yeah.
mad at that either,
I
though.
exactly, because that type of horse work is gonna be really between him and what's his name, Bash. The short yardage, 3 to 5. We need a first down. Somebody who's just gonna go out there, body somebody out the way, get us that possession first down. That it may come down to him and honestly Bash, right?
Yeah, well, not for his roster position, but who is going to be that
Oh,
guy
per
that
game. I'm
goes
talking
out in
about
the
per
route?
game. Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, Besh definitely. I would think that he's going to be in there because see, the thing about him is he's not maybe fast enough to get the
He's not.
separation
He's not.
past the
He's not.
corner and past the safety, but his body type allows him to run across the middle, which a lot of receivers don't do.
Okay.
And he runs across the middle
And
and,
he
and he
can jump.
blocks fairly decently.
He
So
can jump, and Mayer
so
can
if you can
jump.
block, yeah,
Okay.
and he can get that 50-50 ball. So if you can
Right.
block as a receiver, especially if you're going to be closer to the line of scrimmage or you're going to be closer to the line, in a bunch situations or sometimes even just lining up in a tight end position, uh, that's only going to help because it just condenses the field and give more space to the offensive player.
You know what's crazy is though, as far as his build, I actually think he'll play. I think if he became like a Hall of Famer, I think it would be because he would play more like a Travis Kelsey. Honestly, as far as the only other tight end that we know because he's in that same division, because he's got same bigger body build where I'm not gonna expect him to be able to give me 30 to 40 yards on any catch, but I think again between 5 to 6 that turns into 15 to 20 yards. I think I would look to him to feast in those particular areas this season, especially in the middle of the field. Because he does have a bigger body, and his 50-50 ball is quite good. Because again, when he was at Notre Dame, he excelled in getting those 50-50 balls and touchdowns. That's why he led. I think he actually led the year he was drafted. He might have led the NFL in red zone touchdowns. I think he did, or at least close to it, because he was quite known for going up and getting those balls.
Yeah, they definitely need to use him to his advantage because
Yeah.
Best. I mean, like I heard today that from Hondo Carpenter that he believes that Best is going to get traded, or him
Wait,
and Dante
Jack
Thornton.
Bash? Oh,
Yeah, and Dante Thornton might end up on the practice squad, or he might
um,
not make the team either.
okay. Let's go into that real quick. Now, I'm not the kind of person who's gonna go against the beat reporters for the Raiders. They're there for a reason. I give those people their respect. And personally, I'm a big fan of your boy Q. That's what I'm saying. But I also think they hear things that I don't think would make sense. Like, why? My question would be why? Jack Bash has only been on the team for 1 year. We barely used him last year due to the dysfunction of the coaching staff and the play calling. The same thing for Dante Thornton. Like, we drafted them, we barely used them. So to trade them away for what? The most you're gonna get for them would be 7th round for both of them. No, I don't think trading them away makes sense. So I don't think we're gonna trade them away. Short and simple. Let me know what you think. Okay, so you do think? Okay. So you do think he's on a trading block? Yeah.
I don't. I don't think so. That to
I
me,
don't
I
think
think that
so.
wouldn't
Go
make
ahead.
sense if they did that because, like you just said, like you got to understand these wide receivers were rookies last year. So a lot of
Exactly.
times rookies don't get any play or very limited play. So they did get some play. It's just that they weren't part of this. They weren't part of the they weren't part of the program
The program,
because
and they were on a
Pete
very
Carroll because Pete
dysfunctional
Carroll
team.
didn't like playing young players earlier in the year,
Right.
and I understood why. Because then if you deplete your depth, no matter how deep you are, then you're not going to make it to the end of the season. So he was trying to kind of lightweight pace how they played. Now, granted, so we saw Dante Thornton start the year.
Mm-hmm.
Best came in and he played a little bit or whatnot. So now so knowing the deficiencies that we had, we really don't know what we had.
Mm-hmm.
But in the second year, that's when either the player gets it or the league got him. One or the two. Either he gonna get it or the league gonna get him. And if the league get him, then you're gonna be a number 3 wide receiver somewhere,
Right.
barely trying to hold on to a roster spot. Or even if you are a number 2 receiver, you're gonna have to beat out the number 3 receiver on the
Right.
team that's fighting the number 2 guy already. So it just makes it more difficult than if you were just a solidified second-year player. Now, for
Right.
Jack Bench, if they're saying that he might start as like the third receiver, I would think that's a step up because last year he wasn't the number 3 wide receiver on the team, I don't believe.
Right. No,
Um,
he was on the field, but no, not enough to be considered number 3.
yeah,
Yeah.
but to trade him and put him on the practice squad,
Yeah.
I just think
That would
that's
be
kind of
weird.
out there.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't make it. Again, Jack Best, I feel more secure on than Dante Thornton. Again, we've already been over this and reasons why. I think Dante Thornton will need a few more years. So I wouldn't even Dante Thornton, I wouldn't put him on a trading block because again, unless you want to go with the argument that this coaching staff didn't draft them, and therefore it makes them expendable. But given that this coaching staff also didn't do a lot of investment into drafting wide receivers outside of Malik Benson, I don't think the plan is to trade any of those players. Right? Even said of Jackson, Jackson's cousin. He's still on that team, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
his great
yeah.
great nephew or
I
somebody.
don't even think I think even he is safe. At least still past training camp. At least we're gonna look. Let's put it this way: we're gonna get a couple of preseason games from those people, right? We're gonna see them a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. If we got the player last year, rookies are not on the chopping block. Excuse me, makes no sense. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It makes no
yeah. Oh,
sense.
that makes
Like
no sense.
I can
That
make
makes
I
no sense.
can make an argument about it, but so can my wife. She can just argue about it. She can
Oh,
choose anything she want to make an argue
exactly.
about
I
that'll
mean,
make it legit.
and an example is Sari Wilson, right? I mean, he's been on the team for what, third season? We could have the team before him could have just said, "Now we're done with you." But even that didn't make sense then to say, because when they came, he was a rookie. Like, no, we're not just gonna toss you out right now. So no, I think that if anyone's getting traded, it won't be this season. Maybe at the end of the season, but I don't think it'll be this season because
I mean,
I would want to know what those players got. There's a reason they were drafted, right? They had tangible reasons. Oh yeah.
And plus, what would their trade value be? It wouldn't be that high.
Seventh
I mean,
round.
like, what would we get for a number? Like, we got Jack Besh in the second round, if I'm not mistaken. And if we do trade him, if we don't get a third
Yeah,
or
we
higher,
traded
or
down
even,
and then got him, right? We
yeah, I
traded
mean, like, if
down
we
and
don't
then
get a third round pick for him or a fourth round, upper fourth
yeah.
round pick for him, it's like you'd have been better off just let him play his rookie contract out and then just see what happened.
Yeah.
Um,
Or at the very least, if somebody breaks out, release him and then somebody else picks him up through the waiver. But I don't I think the only way those guys are leaving the building is if they get outplayed by the competition, because it just so happens that wide receiver is one of the more competitive positions. Because I don't even think Trey Tucker is safe on the wide receiver. I
yeah,
don't
you
even think
keep
he's safe,
saying
right?
you keep saying that I mean, this is his contract year. So I
Yeah.
don't know. I'm assuming that they're just gonna let him play it out and see if he has value at the end of the year.
Well, by the
You
end of the
know, if
year,
he
he
still
needs to
stay
be
around the 700-yard receiver, then we know what
exactly,
we have, and
exactly.
it's essentially we need a receiver that could really crack 1,000 yards.
A
Like,
thousand yards, exactly. Yeah, that's gonna be the thing where it's like, okay, the downside for him is going to be his size, so he's going to have to find a way to use that to his favor. But yeah, we've seen. I mean, we're talking like what Santana Moss type of players, right? Who are shorter on the shorter end of the wide receiver, but are able to pull up some incredible numbers. Julian Edelman was the same, and was the other Patriots guy. I think that's what we're hoping for from Trey Tucker, right? Like,
Amendola.
yeah. Amendola, yeah, beat that guy, beat that 1,200-yard short guy that we can put in the middle of the field, just to wreck defenses and make linebackers just lose their minds, trying to figure out what this mouse is running to, right? I would love that. But yeah, this is the year. He needs to prove that this year, or else it's going to be bust. Let me give myself a quick drink break before we get more into the next section. And also talking about don't even scroll
Running
down
back.
yet. We're about to have some fun. We'll be back, boys. Let me take a quick drink break.
Okay. So we're going to talk about the running back room too in here shortly. And, you know, I'm going to tell you guys how I felt like Genty was snubbed in this list. Well, at least the honorable mention part. I think he should have got an honorable mention. Quinshon Judkins, he got an honorable mention. I did talk about I compared their stats. His stats wasn't as good as Genty's. Genty was a better all-around running back. And then I don't understand how they projecting Quinshon Judkins to have a better season coming off that. I don't want to say catastrophic, but it was definitely a bad knee injury. So, and Genty didn't, and he played on an offense that was averaging 14 points a game or something like that. No more than 15 for sure. I mean, how many games are you going to win when your offense only scored 2 touchdowns? Like, a lot of teams can score 2 touchdowns in the first half.
Cheers.
And as you saw, we were out of a lot of games by halftime where we were fighting uphill, and all it took is a little bit of scoring by the other team to put even more pressure on us, and it just makes it just made it terrible hard for us to compete.
I mean, I think when you look at the team, I would say that every single player who started last year is going to improve in their stats this year.
Yeah.
Because the
I would
stats were
agree with
so
you.
low. The stats were so low. The only person that could regress is Trey Tucker. Everybody else was so low.
Yeah, that'd be terrible if Trey Tucker went backwards.
Yeah, because even Brock Bowers is not likely to go backwards because his numbers was really so low because of injury. So again, when you look at the stats of the Raiders last year, combine that with what we saw on the field, even a 50% improvement on the Raiders would yield much better results because we were so bad last year. I mean, we were really bad last year. I mean, it was historical how bad we were.
You want to hear a funny stat? Let's see how you like this. So last year, our time of possession. So on offense, our time of possession was 26 minutes and 52 seconds. our defensive time on the field, 33 minutes and 8 seconds. So our defense was on the field like 6 more minutes than
Per
our
game.
defense. It's supposed to be, per game. It's supposed to be the other way around. The offense is supposed to be on
Yeah.
the field longer than the defense.
Right, because the
So,
offense is calling the plays and the
so
defense
it's
is
number
reacting.
32.
Yeah.
Our offensive time of possession was dead last, and our defense time on the field was dead last.
And let's just get more real. There are the stats that that go into that is even more dire because all of that means that last year Raider fans were watching some of the worst football played in
Well,
the
some of the
NFL.
worst complimentary football
Football
played, yes.
also meant that we were technically watching less games because the Raiders games were generally over by the time the fourth came around. So
Yeah.
so most of the time the fourth they was just running the clock out. So we actually got less football per viewership than every other team. Look into that ESPN. That'll be a really cool stat, right? So we weren't watching exciting football at all.
Well, that's why they don't have any primetime games. It's
Yeah.
for that reason because the game was almost like you knew that when teams got to 21, the game was over.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know when they got to 21, the game was over because we messing around with 3 field goals, got 9 points, got 7 points, or 10 points, and the other team got 21. We're not coming back.
We're not coming back. Yeah. So no, I think again, if you're just gonna go based on excitement, what we got last year was as bad as it could be. But people were like, well, why do we think things will turn around this year? Because also last year we didn't spend a lot of money on players. It wasn't accidental. The coaching was bad, the play calling was bad, but the Raiders also didn't spend a lot of money last year on players. And that was why most of our players last year were 1-year rentals who were at the end of their career. We're talking a lot of our defensive players last year were literally 1-year players that were either coming from injury or were 33 years old and pretty much one leg out of the league. So there was a reason the Raiders were a bad team outside of the bad play calling and the bad coaching. We also just didn't have a lot of good players. By comparison, every single position last year that was bad got significantly improved. So,
And we did it the right way through the draft and by quality, competent free agency signings.
And the only one that could be worrisome is Nakobe Dean, right? If the injury kind of keeps lingering, that's the only one that could be worrisome. Outside of that, everyone we signed last year was solid, both in character and on the field. So,
but at the end of the day, we're making moves. Whether they pan out or not is one thing, we're definitely making moves. We're committed to the excellence. You just have to find it. You got to just keep plugging at it until it start making sense. And then you're going to make so many mistakes trying hard that you're going to work your way into doing it right versus instead of just complaining about this and keep trying to throw more money at the problem. Just like a business, when it's failing, you don't throw more money at it. You don't try to scale it when it's not doing well. You're just going to lose more money. And same thing with the Raiders. Like, we just kept trying to put these players in position thinking it was going to change things, but what we needed to change is our identity, our approach, and the continuity from the top, from the head office down to the coaching staff, because there was so much divisiveness in the head office last year.
And I think the people need to know that when John Sparta came in, this is what he promised us, that the organization would be more competent. Now, last year they were infighting, but as far as we know, a lot of that really was not really within his control. But the moment the control was gotten by him, every decision that is made has been pretty clear. Like, oh yeah, you thought this out. This isn't just out of the blue. Like, no, this was a good decision. And I even think when Pete Carroll was in, what we did with Pete Carroll also made sense. And I think Spytek specifically didn't want to spend a ton of money. And even though Pete Carroll probably wanted to have a lot more money at his disposal, knowing that until we get this quarterback position figured out, there's no reason to spend all this money on skill positions, trying to beef that up if your quarterback play isn't set. But obviously now that's a completely different story. how 1 year makes a difference, right? All of a sudden, the quarterback is here, and now he doesn't even have to play the first year because you have somebody, a competent backup, to continue to train the team up and get better while the heir apparent is getting ready, right? And all of that happened in 1 year.
Yeah, one off season. I mean,
In
and then
one
not to
offseason.
mention we got a
Yeah.
great center, like the number 2 center in
Number
the
2 center
league,
in the league. Yeah.
arguably number 1. I would say he arguably number 1.
One. Yeah.
If teams
Same.
come in and play the Raiders, they're going to scheme Linderbaum. They're not going to be like, well, let's scheme DJ Glaze or
Right.
even JPJ. Like they might try to scheme Colton Miller, but even in that, you're the resources you're using to do that. Now you're only allowing like Tyler Lindenbaum and JPJ to go crazy. So you got to start with the head of the stake when it comes to this O line. Unlike Kansas City, where they said, this guy is the best center, but we really don't scheme for him.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go to those running backs. I want to see those running backs because the running backs is really fun right now in the NFL. There's just some good running backs. Yeah, of course. Bijan, only 24 years old. That means already, dude. Bijan is so good. Wait, he got 20 yards in 79 catches? Oh, man. Oh, so he led the NFL with 2,298 yards from scrimmage. Oh, is that a record?
Yeah,
that's
so
a
you
record.
broke the record, yeah.
Yeah, that's a fucking record. Oh, my God. Okay. He's good. Okay, Mr. Gibbs, what do you have? Dude, Jahmyr Gibbs is so fast. He's so quick. If you watch him run, oh my goodness, he's so quick. Yeah, so they say your eyes tell you there's no one like him with the ball. Yeah, there really isn't. Like his style of running is particular. He's short and his feet are just he's fun to watch. Oh
Yeah,
man.
I just didn't understand. I don't know what happened to Montgomery. Like they traded him, and they had a little 2-man run game going that was pretty decent.
Yeah, Montgomery's getting old though. I think that may be why.
Could be, yeah.
Even Saquon is getting old at 29, but man, yeah, Saquon's pretty close to Hall of Famer. If he plays for like 3-4 more seasons, he'll be a Hall of Famer. What did he do last year?
Well, he has a Super Bowl, so I think he'll.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Was it last year that he did that crazy
Yeah.
that's 2 years ago, that crazy jump?
Well, yeah, it was 2 years, not last season, the season before that.
It was season
That
that was his
kinda
best season.
solidified him.
Oh,
And then he came from New York, and he was a beast there.
And he was a beast there. And he was good in New York, and then came to Philadelphia, made that team better, won the Super Bowl with them, did that crazy jump. Yeah, he's already a Hall of Famer.
Well, he's arguably the reason they won the Super Bowl because, I mean, Jalen Hurts play at a high level, whatever that level is. Not respected as much as he would like or a lot of the fans like, but I mean, as good as they played, they only got so far. But when they got to Saquon, well, I'm talking about top tier Saquon, and you saw what the results. But then the following year, like I say all the time, like the NFL, they make sure that whatever happened last year don't happen this year. You don't want to get beat the same way you did last year. So this is why his numbers went down. His numbers definitely went down. That's not to say he was the worst running back. It's just that they weren't having it. So they have to get more creative with how he gets the ball and win.
I'm torn on Christian McCaffrey.
You what?
I'm torn on him. He's good, but he doesn't win.
That's Shanahan's fault. Shanahan be getting all his players hurt.
My high school best friend, we're still friends. He's a Niner fan, and I keep telling him, their entire division has made a pact somewhere to make sure Shanahan never wins a Super Bowl. Because I swear, that division, they will not let that boy get away with even a hint of a Super Bowl. Dude, now we're talking about Donald coming back to the Rams.
Right, that look
with
like
Myles Garrett.
That look like that's going to happen more than not. So the thing about CMC is, He's the ultimate. He's the ultimate weapon. It's just his usage rate is crazy, and I remember the year they did have a running back behind him that kind of ran well. It helped, but at the end of the year, if your team is being injured, it's gonna affect you. And everybody was going down. And Christian even got hurt 2 years ago, and last year he survived the year, but he was still nicked up and injured. And then it all caught up with him in the playoff game, and that's essentially why they lost the playoff game because Christian McCaffrey was not himself.
And he's pretty injury prone. He gets injured pretty much every year. Yeah, pretty much every year. Is Jency on this list?
So Jonathan Taylor is 5th, Derrick Henry is 6th,
Of course.
James Cook is 7th,
Achane
is 8th,
Kenneth Walker?
K9 is 9, how fitting. Brees Hall is 10. Now, here's our honorable mentions. Josh Jacobs, which I think should have been on the list.
Yeah.
And who do you take off? Maybe Brees Hall.
Yeah.
Maybe even Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
I'll
take Kenneth Walker.
And then, Williams, Tyron Williams, Quinshon Judkins, which this is what I had a problem. This is why I call this a snub.
Oh,
because if you look at this list has no rookies on it. The player that was a rookie, they've been in the league for a minute. And so even in this honorable mention list, Quinshon Judkins is the only rookie named. And he had a decent season, but it wasn't better than Ashton Genty.
No, he was not better than Ashton Genty.
Yeah, and Judkins got injured last year. He blew his knee out. So I think he blew his knee out, but he definitely had a major injury that took him off the field. He did to play most of the season. I was rooting for him because that's the kid that got into the DB situation in Florida and found out it really didn't go down like that, and he didn't know he was going to make camp.
What Florida thing?
He was in Florida, and his girlfriend called the police on him for a DV situation, domestic violence situation, and it was essentially like she was trying to catch him up or whatever, and
one of those.
He couldn't go to camp and all the other stuff, but he eventually came in and he showed improved, but I just don't think he was playing at the level that Genty was playing.
Yeah, no, dude. Here's what I'll say. Genty showed me enough last year to know that we got the right one.
Yeah, me too.
Just the way he was running was clear that one, we're not going to be talking about a significantly injurious career. Again, Emmitt Smith is my comp, and just the way he ran, you just knew Genty was going to get what you needed, unless the O-line stopped him in the backfield. Even then, it was like carrying the rod on his shoulder and trying to get a yard. So yeah, no, I feel pretty good about that. Yeah, it's a bummer he didn't put him on. Okay. We got one more ranking. And yes, Areta did make this one. And this one, I do want to talk about this one.
Where is it? What ranking?
I think it's edge rusher, right?
Okay.
Because we didn't talk about this already, did we?
No.
Yeah, I don't think we did.
Let
me see what you think about this one.
Myles Garrett, number 1.
Yeah.
It's Myles Garrett and the rest of the field.
Okay.
And then it's Michael Parsons at 2. Will Anderson Jr. at 3.
I agree with that.
Max Crosby at 4.
Who's 5?
Hayden Hutchinson.
Oh, we did talk about this already. A little bit.
Did.
We did a little bit.
And Neil.
And I said, yeah. The more I think about it, though, no, I think that's a good spot for Max.
I do too. I mean,
just because what it still means to the NFL and the Raiders, yeah, I think that feels like a good spot for him. Because the question would be, on any given day, who do I think would be better than Crosby? And I'm comfortable to say Myles Garrett, Micah Parsons, Johnson last year on any given play that those 3 were higher than Crosby. But yeah, I don't think anybody else was. I actually think right now there's a big division in the D line of the top 4 and everybody else. I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. You do a couple steps down, put a couple blank space in there. just to make people know that there's a golf here, and then you start the count over again.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm being
I probably
honest.
would stretch that to top five. One thing I do consider is the amount of double teams that these players take. Like, the number one person
I
was
mean, just say AJ's popping, like AJ Gold's gonna pop it.
AJ Ashton Jeffy.
Oh, Ashton Genty. Oh, I'm like AJ Cole, the punter.
Yeah, AJ
Ashton
Cole
Genty.
out of
Yes,
here.
yes, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like the top five players are the ones that get the most double team, except for Will Anderson. He was like fifth or sixth. I don't even know if I'm not even sure he was on the list now I think about it, but I know Miles Garrett was behind
No,
Michael
Will Anderson
Parsons.
wasn't on the
Michael
list last
Parsons
year.
was
Yeah.
like 9% more, and then it was Aiden Hutchinson. That's why I was saying the top five, because he gets the third amount of double team, and then is
Oh, he
Max
was ranked.
Crosby.
Really, he was ranked second last year in Hutchinson. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, maybe the highest ranking
the
was
highest ranking. Last year he was
really.
ranked 7. Also, he bumped back up to 5. So
To be fair to him though, Jacksonville did pick wrong. They should have picked him over what's his name.
who did they get? A quarterback?
No, they got the other edge.
Oh,
The freak. I mean, that man was a freak show. He just got signed too, so he's not bad. Do you remember the year? Anybody on chat? The year Hutchinson was picked. Who was I think it was. I think his name was also Trevor. No,
when was this?
I don't remember his name. Edge for Jacksonville. I feel like his name is either Trevor or something Lawrence, and that's why it's hard to put those two together. Anyways, yeah, there was a big debate who was going to be better: the proven Hutchinson, who was breaking college records, or the freak show Walker. Yes, is it Trevor Walker? I think Trevor Walker. Freak
Oh yeah,
show.
Trayvon Walker.
Trayvon
He's the
Walker.
number one
Here's the
pick in
thing, though.
2022.
Here's the thing, though. He's not bad. He's not bad at all. Hutchinson is still better because Hutchinson is getting the rankings. He's not. And their career's not over yet. They're both still young. They're still like 25, 24, right? Because he was the reason we drafted Tyree Wilson the next year, because Tyree Wilson was the exact same comp as this dude, only played 1 year, but a freak show, and he showed everyone just how powerful and strong he is. And obviously, Tyree Wilson got traded. So, yes, from Georgia. Yeah, from Georgia. Yeah. He was the reason we drafted Tyree Wilson. On an intellectual level, we were making the same exact point about Tyree Wilson we made about him. Yep.
Yeah. It's just so hard to tell how your picks really pan out for real.
Exactly, especially when you're getting into that like top dude. I mean, look, bust the bust for a reason. You can't. You're trying to look at all these players, and you're trying to narrow it down to top 5 people that you think will for sure be great. Again, is there a good reason to think that Mendoza might be a bust? It's happened before.
I can see it happen. I mean, if it happened, I wouldn't be shocked or anything like that because it's the NFL. I mean, it's all about how you prepare for yourself because the league is so much more competitive now as far as like you used to can come into the league and you can play a year and you were kind of safe for that year if you were like a higher level athlete. And so the league haven't caught up with you, so they usually take an off season, and then hopefully you come back in and you increase your game, so that way that learning curve don't get caught up. But see, now what happened is being that they have the ability to, I can look at every third down play of this person and at home versus on the road, and then they just show you all the clips of the person. You can become obsessive and you can scout these players like even in real time better. So eventually, the league catches up with you faster.
Right. Because here's the thing, like T. Walker, hit stick, you said, was stepping up. His stick, is that a Madden reference?
Yeah, right.
Because when that was added, 2015. Was it? Yeah, I think it was 2015 when Ray Lewis was added to was the cover. Um, because T. Walker was popping off at Georgia, but the issue with him was I think he only had one really good year at Georgia, and Agent Hutchinson had multiple good years at Michigan. I think he went to Michigan. And the debate was who was going to be better, but Walker had much better measurables. I mean, Walker was running like 4.5, and the NFL war was going like, whoa. Dude, okay, remember when Mac got drafted before the combines? Nobody knew who Mac was because he went to Buffalo, and nobody knew who he was. And then at the combine, we were just like, whoa, who is this dude? And all of a sudden, he became a 4th overall pick and a Hall of Famer. That's what Walker was supposed to be.
Hall of Fame? I don't know.
For Khalil Mack? Oh, I mean, oh.
Hall of
Wait
Fame?
a minute.
Hall of
Okay,
Fame?
you're getting me thinking. No Super Bowl, so boo on that. And he's played for some bad
He
teams.
played for the Raiders, right? He played for the
Man.
Raiders. Then he played with the Chargers. I mean, unless the Chargers can make a run and be deep into the playoffs like multiple years.
That's why he's not retired yet, right? He's like, I'm Hall of Fame, but I play for some shit teams. No one knows who I am.
Well, they know who he is, but he lost some of his sauce. I mean, he's still effective.
He is. Okay.
He's definitely still effective.
We'll save that for another day. Khalil Mack,
Okay.
Hall of Fame or not. We'll save that for another. That'll be interesting. It would be a shame if he wasn't, though. Because Khalil Mack came onto the scene and he just blew the doors wide open. Again, he went to Buffalo. Nobody knew who he was to the combines. Right?
Yeah, no, he was definitely not on the radar.
I remember seeing him for the first time going, whoa, who is this dude? He was massive. He was so big. And then you find out at Buffalo, he was like linebacker, and then they made him edge for 1 year, and that's what it was. The last year of Buffalo, they moved him to edge, and they just wrecked the division. He just wrecked everyone. He was just like, who is this dude?
Yeah, what was crazy about that was he was strong enough to toss linemen around.
Yeah.
I mean, his ability to toss linemen was crazy. Like, it was like, well, if you could do that, you might as well just try to run around the edge.
Here's a question. Was that John Gruden's biggest fumble? That's the actual question. Because, okay, who did we get for him? Who did John Gruden get for him?
I think we got Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, yeah. Jonathan Abrams.
Oof.
Oof. Don't care what he says about Josh McDaniels. Like, no, you were part of the problem, my man. Because we saw you play football. You were part of the problem. I know. I think that might have been John Gruden's biggest fumble.
Let me see who we ended up getting.
And that also hurt Mac. It really hurt Mac because the Raiders were becoming a better team, right? Let me just trade him to Chicago. Chicago was so bad too.
I just want to see who we ended up getting. I know we ended up getting Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abrams was because remember we got two late
we got Damon
round.
Arnett. We got Damon Arnett, Brian Edwards, Rashawn Austin. I don't even know who that is. So we essentially got Josh Jacobs. I mean, David Arnett played corner for us, and we ended up getting two corners, a wide receiver, and a running back for him.
No, we got Josh Jacobs and pennies.
Yeah,
we got some fucking peanuts. That's what we got. we put our message up for sale, and someone showed up and he's like, "Oh, I got peanuts."
But I would argue though that I think we went. I think we put together a better team with Josh Jacobs than we did with Khalil Mack on it. But then it's kind of hard to
Yeah,
say that because one was offense and one is
one was
defense.
defense. So here's the thing: Josh Jacobs with Derek Carr was actually pretty good. that was pretty good, and
Yeah.
they were fun to watch because they had the same energy. Him and they just like clicked. I don't know why Carr wanted Tay because him and Jacobs actually did click quite well, man.
Yeah. What you
That's why
say?
you
This
don't
is
trade
why you
Max.
don't
Trade
exactly
Max.
because everybody's talking about these first two
No.
round picks as if they're guaranteed to
Okay.
be like how we
I
know they even
mean,
gonna pan out. And not only that, edge rushers, other than left tackle and franchise quarterback,
I look, man. Let me just give you
edge
one little
rusher is right
wrench
there.
there. I don't know how to see it. Quirk. Let me just give you one little wrench there, Quirk. Just one tiny little wrench. Max
Uh-oh.
is 29 years old. Khalil
So
Mack, when we traded him, was like 25. That does make a difference. Look, I'm not saying trade Max. I'm saying, though, I would be willing to trade a 29-year-old Max. And only because it's Max. I know you're going to hate me. But again, Max is built his entire game on never leaving the field, which means his entire game is built on just wrecking his body. This people are going to see this. There was a reason when the Ravens needed an out, they went to the only out they knew they had. Look, Max, this is what he does. He never leaves. His body's wrecked. He does this. He plays every snap. His knee's not good. It's gonna fall apart.
he's not falling. I don't understand. He had an injury and now he's falling apart. Every player is going to have an injury to some degree. And his injury, the knee injury that he had is not some deteriorative situation because he didn't get the
I see you,
meniscus
Michael.
shaved. He didn't get the meniscus shaved. He got it repaired. So that way he has a better chance of longevity
Yeah,
by going that route about it. Sure, he could have shaved it and then came back and then just been a warrior and all that, but he did what was best in the long term. And
right.
being that he did it that way, it kind of gives him a new lease on life um, because now he doesn't have this alien injury that kind of was nagging him for the last couple of years
Mhm.
that kind of slowed his production down. He actually just sat down and got it because he didn't want to come off the field. Um, I can
Okay.
understand too much of anything is bad, right? I do. I understand that concept. But when it comes to availability on the field, if you can go on the field and play all these snaps, I would think that that's a plus. I just think that
Okay.
because you're getting more
I
out of the
agree.
player than you would if he was just playing every, you know, let's say if Max Crosby played 50 plays, right, and then you knock him down to 35,
Right.
something like that. Over a couple of years, that's a whole season that you miss from this guy.
Right.
That's capable of doing it because a lot of people aren't even capable of doing that.
And I feel you on that. And Mike, we're gonna get to your point right after what I say. And I feel you on that. What I'm saying is though, those were the same narratives that made it easy for the Ravens to back out of that deal because we're all pretty sure what happened was the guy that got Hutchinson, well, not Hutchinson, the guy that got from the Cleveland Browns, his agent just said, "Look, we'll you guys can sign him for a lesser deal, less money. Guess what? You can still keep your first round pick to draft whatever you wanted." I think once they saw that, they thought we need an out of this deal. Guess
Right.
what? The narrative was already there built. Max never leaves the game. That means you can't really trust his needs. And I think that's what they used. I do. I think that's what they used.
Max could have walked in there with a red shirt on, and they would have said, "Well, you didn't wear purple, so we're gonna get
Yeah,
you out of here." I
true.
mean, like it really was. It was the optics. Like what you say is what you say. It's not the optics. It's the same thing. It's the you use a certain words,
The
the way
messaging,
things look, the messaging.
the
The
message.
messaging was this that they've never traded their first round pick, and
Mhm.
so they were going to trade two of them. And so then they got nervous, and they did get your boy. Who was it?
I don't even
Hendrickson.
remember. Hendrickson.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
you're right.
Hendrickson.
Yeah,
But the
Trey
thing
Henderson.
about it is, if you remember this list that we were just looking at, he wasn't even on the. He was in
I,
honorable mention on this list. So,
I don't even think it's good enough to be anywhere near that list. But that's a whole
so,
different story.
so Max Crosby and this guy is not comparable. And a lot of
Right.
people were saying it as if well, we got a better player or a
They
player
didn't
just
put
as
that. They didn't
good,
put
and they didn't. They got a player, and they have to keep their draft picks. And I
right.
need to look and see who their draft pick was this year to see if it even started panning out. But I mean, I just think that they use any excuse in the room to to back
Just
out of
real
the
quick.
trade.
By the way, real quick. The Browns, Jerry Verse, they got a monster. I'm telling you
Yeah,
right now, Jerry Verse. When they saw that trade, I think they were like, you know what? You know what? We'll take Jerry Verse and everything else you're giving us, right? I think that was a really good deal on both sides. Um, but yeah, look, I feel you. I feel you, but I can't discount my point in just saying, yeah, the narrative was kind of built and they used it. And we look,
I agree with you.
here's the question: are you happier that Max came back, or would you have been
Yes,
happier to get that first round pick? That's the
I'd
question
be,
for Raider Nation. Give me an answer for
no.
that. Okay, so
Yeah,
your
yeah.
answer is no.
Answer that on the playback and also in the chat. And my answer to that question is I'm so happy that the trade fell through. Like
Okay.
this, because essentially it's not like it was not like we was gonna have 3 first-round picks this year or whatever. We had an
Hmm.
extra one.
Hmm.
We'd have got another player. I mean, like, how did we draft better than what we draft? I can see if we just wasn't in position to make good. We really needed. We had a boatload of picks,
Okay.
and so the thing is, the hardest thing to to replicate is a star pass rusher. Like you don't. One of the rules is you don't trade away your pass rusher. You're trading the franchise off when you're doing that. And
Hmm.
mind you, this player was our franchise player. So imagine taking your franchise player off of your team and trying to
Right.
rebuild on top of a new head coach, a new D
You-
coordinator,
Okay.
a new
Okay.
line.
I see
Like
you.
you
I
got to
see.
keep something stable there.
That's a point. That's a good point. I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna run it. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some dough on that one. Okay, so that is a good point in rebuilding. It is good to have an anchor who can remind everybody what Red Nation is all about. And I do think Max Crosby is a perfect person to do
Yeah,
that.
he's an original
Um,
Oakland Raider too.
and original, and one of the last original. No,
Yeah,
the
one of the
last.
last. Him and Colton Miller.
Colt Miller. Yes. Okay. I can see that continuity. I can see, and Colt Miller isn't really the outspoken leader. He's just more of a soft spoken, just get the job
Yeah,
done. Max Crosby
private
is
check.
the
Yeah.
get the job done, but I'm gonna yell while doing it.
Yeah, he
So
sets the
that's
standard. He sets the standard
and he
because
does.
people
He
don't
does.
understand all the stuff that he does for this team. He's the person like Draymond Green. Whether you love him or hate him, what he
Mm,
does is he establishes that you're not going to come in there and just punk the
and
team. You're not going to be able to. So you're not going to be able to just go over there and do like how they were doing our center and our O line. They
now I
they
gotta
saw that
tell
our O
you,
line was weak, and so they just started pillaging all the whole O line, and then you saw what happened. Essentially, that's what would have happened to the franchise if we would have got rid of our emotional leader,
okay,
our physical leader, our cornerstone of our defense. So getting him back to me is way worth it more than a first-round pick this year and a first-round pick
AJ
next
Cole
year.
was also in Oakland.
Yeah, he was. And not to mention the Ravens are perennial playoff team. So that's a bottom of the draft.
Yeah. Okay. Look, here's and I want Raider Nation's answer to that. Are you happier? Which
Good
are you
question.
happier with, Max coming back, or if we had traded Max? And my answer is, I was happy when we traded Max because one, we got to first. Also, because there was some edge like Akeem Mesdor that I was looking at in the draft. In that, I think the draft would have been 15, 14 or 15 that I would have been very happy with as potential replacements for Max Crosby. But the logic there was because the Raiders were rebuilding, I thought, well, if Max isn't doesn't want to be a part of this rebuild, and again, that is part of some Raider Nation's point against Max that he didn't want to be a part of the rebuild, that getting him for a potential Akeem Mesdor and another first next year was a good trade-off. Yes, I thought that. But the moment Max Crosby came back, then I thought, Max Crosby with Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Quiddy Pitt, yes, please. I want that defense all day.
Well, yeah, because that's essentially all Max has been asking for, though, this
Right.
whole time. Is look, I'm holding it down by myself. I mean, he legit kept us in the middle of the tier defense as bad as we were in 23 and 24. He kept us. I mean, he kept the defense at a certain level, and
That's a
he's like,
level.
man, you got to. Even if, let's say, if the Raiders were hypothetically, I'm not saying they were, but let's say if they said we want to reduce your snaps, right?
Mm-hmm,
And he's
mm-hmm.
like, well, how can y'all do that when we ain't got nobody? Like so now when you got a quitty pay, you can do some things like put pay on one side, let Max sit out a couple plays, and then allow those other, Keyron Crawford to come in with Coons, and then
Okay.
also, even seeing Sloan at the linebacker position. So you give
Mm,
yourself options and stuff like that. But he never had that option to begin with.
mm. Okay. I can see that. I can see that. Anything I've had against Max really comes down to this for me. The Raiders need a rebuild. Now, when he was going to be traded, it was just clear that, okay, he wasn't going to be a part of the rebuild. And I said this when it was traded. We weren't streaming together then. But I did say that this trade was just going to be a 3-year rental to a Ravens fan. And I actually said it on Twitter to Ravens that, we'll get him back in 3 years from now. Once your contract with him is over, he'll come back and retire with the Raiders and probably come back when the team is more prepared, like Charles Woodson, right, in his second time around. I think the team, when Charles Woodson came back, was more prepared. Now, Max all of a sudden finds himself in a much better situation than even Charles Woodson did, so that could yield, hopefully, a Super Bowl or two for Max before his career ends, right?
Yeah.
But here's a question, though, because you are a Max supporter. After this year, where do you think Max is going to land on? Will he still want to be a part of a
Yes.
potential rebuild? Or
Yes.
okay, so
Yes,
you think
because he
that Max
understands
is
that.
ride or die?
No, it's not even that I'm ride or die Max, but I am though. I am though, actually, now that I think about it, I am, but I'm not looking at it from that lens. I'm looking at it the lens that he's as goal oriented as he is, he's realistic to know that this team isn't going to be a playoff team this year.
This
But
year,
if we show progress that, we go out there, win 7, 8 games or whatever, then that'll feed his fire enough to be like, okay, cool, we right there.
okay,
So
we're
we
right
can
there.
really make some moves. Now we just need a couple more players in the offseason,
Mhm.
whether it be draft or whatever, but we don't know what those positions are because we filled
Draft
so
wide
many.
receiver. I can call it out for you. Draft a wide receiver.
Yeah, right. Let's
um,
get to the start time Raider Mike. But before we answer that, who the Ravens did pick with their number 14 pick was Vega Ione, which was that lineman. They did
the
get a stud in
lineman.
that guy though.
Yeah.
They
I know
only,
a lot of Red Nation wanted him. I do know
yeah,
that.
I
Red
wanted
Nation
him.
was calling
I
for him.
wanted him too.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay, so from
Hopefully,
what I heard, we couldn't keep Khalil Mack because of Derek Carr's new contract. Derek said he would never let that happen again. They were very close.
I heard that too.
I heard that, but then when I looked into
Yeah.
it, it wasn't because of Carr's contract, from what I understand. I'll look into that again. I'll even look it up right now, just briefly. But the thing about that is if we really want to keep Khalil Mack, we would have
Yeah.
kept Khalil Mack.
I
It's
think
just
so
the
too.
fact that Gruden came in and did an overhaul. Gruden had a certain type of player that he likes. He don't like a player that feels like that, you know, he's bigger than him or something like that. He had this problem with Rich Gannon initially because Rich Gannon was giving him a lot of pushback, but the production on the field allowed that reign that Gannon had.
Oh,
It's
dude,
a
Gannon gave him
matter
a
of,
lot of pushback.
yeah, he did. And it was a matter
Oh,
of egos. So
uh-huh.
he didn't want to have a piston in the win contest with
Yeah.
Khalil Mack because there's really no piston in the win contest when it comes to that because we loved Khalil Mack a lot, maybe as much as Gruden. So Gruden got rid of him, and he didn't just get rid of Khalil Mack. He got rid of a lot of our the soul of our team, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
Like they got rid of what's a quarterback that was, I mean, wide receiver that was playing good, that played for the Niners? I
Oh,
can't
Michael
think.
Crabtree.
Michael Crabtree was going crazy.
He was. Michael
Let's see
Crabtree
who else
was better
was.
on the Raiders than it was on the Niners.
Yeah, he was.
Which is so funny because I remember when Michael Crabtree got drafted because I actually wanted him to be drafted by the Raiders. Because Michael Crabtree was good coming out of Tech. Where did it come from? Georgia. Was it Georgia Tech? No, not Georgia Tech.
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Yes, Texas Tech. Oh, he was so good.
Yeah, he said he didn't want to come to the Raiders too when he was getting drafted. He specifically said he did not want to be a Raider, and that's why I didn't like Crabtree. But then he came in and changed my mind because he balled out for sure.
Oh, he balled out for sure.
This is who we got rid of: Michael Crabtree, Amari Cooper,
Oh,
Marquette King, Jahad Ward. And remember I said we got rid of the soul of our team. Like them was on our team. I mean, granted, Amari Cooper was flying and stuff, but I mean, like these are some of the top players. Like we got rid of both our wide receivers and our premier rusher. Like that's crazy. And our Pro Bowl kicker and
You know what I
Jahad
just realized?
Ward.
You know what I just realized? Mark Davis stopped making the biggest mistake he kept making early on in his career. So when Mark Davis came in, took over there, you know the first thing he did
Who that?
was to fire Jackson, Hugh Jackson.
Oh yeah, Ground Huey.
Yeah. Hugh Jackson was to fire Hugh Jackson, replaced him with. Was that when he replaced him with?
We got Jack Del Rio.
Was that the Jack Del Rio replacement?
And then because after that we got Gruden.
Oh shit. Okay, that makes sense now. He just basically just kept firing people and replacing them with somebody else. Because Jackson was good for us in his last year. He was good, and that was the Al Davis game. So he was, and that wasn't a bad season. And then all of a sudden he was gone. Jack Del Rio came in, and then 2 years later, Jack Del Rio was gone. Yeah, and it was just fine and fine after that. Yeah, wow.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna look and see if Mac wanted to reset the market and he couldn't reset the market because let me see. The Bears gave him 6 years, 141 million with 90 guaranteed. And then during this time too, when you're trying to build a team as a quarterback, you can't take all the money though. Like you can't take a big chunk of it because then you'll be in a situation like Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
can't get players around you better.
This was also the point when we were having a conversation about the Raiders being cash poor. And I do remember a lot of that factored into why the Raiders weren't able to kind of do the contract in a way to get him paid. But yes, I do know he wanted to set the record. And I think he did, right? The Bears did set the record.
Yeah, the market, yes.
And I'm gonna be honest, I think Khalil Mack was good enough to have demanded that type of treatment.
Yeah.
Now, were the Raiders able to afford that even in that time, especially with the big rebuild coming up? I think we could have. I honestly just think that Gruden just thought, look, we can just refresh this whole thing, even if it wasn't ego. And with Gruden, we know ego was definitely a part of it. That even if it wasn't ego, it was clear that Gruden was kind of thinking, let's just do a complete full slate reset. And
because he didn't bring those guys in.
Exactly.
Yeah.
With the quarterback was
his
the only thing that was left. And it just so happens that Derek Carr was a Gruden quarterback. Because remember, he was in the Gruden QB thing. And John Gruden was like, Derek Carr is an amazing quarterback. I'm trusting this guy's incredible. So I think once he got his hands on Derek Carr, the entire plan was we're going to build around Derek Carr.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want you to answer this question to you, but
Dennis Allen was after you. Yeah.
But before we get to that, I just want to read this real quick. It says in 2017, Derek Carr signed a 5-year, $125 million extension, making him the highest paid player in NFL history at that exact moment. While Carr actually restructured his contract intentionally to leave room for Mack and Gabe Jackson. Having a $25 million a year quarterback meant the Raiders had less financial flexibility than teams with a quarterback on a cheap rookie contract. But yeah, I mean, but Carr no longer was on a rookie contract.
That was Carr's second contract.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that one. That was a big
conversation. To get paid. So he's supposed to try to. It's the business of it all, and if he intentionally left room to restructure for Mac and Gabe Jackson, essentially what it boiled down to was guaranteed money.
Yeah.
I mean, just ponder that. But here's your question. We didn't get it. We didn't get it good, Raider. We didn't get it good, Raider. That was the problem. We should have pressed the trade button right about now, not when the player coming out of surgery.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Look, I think there's a lot of people who wouldn't mind trading Max.
Yeah. Why though?
Call it the Madden brain, because in Madden it was
That's what
always.
I call it. That's exactly what I call it. That's exactly what I call it. Like,
Man,
this is Madden. You can trade
here,
whorever you want to.
I dug that hole for you for a reason, but if I'm gonna dig a hole, best believe I'm not stepping in it. Here's what I'm saying. The Madden logic, there was logic to the Madden logic. That is, a 29-year-old player, once you start getting to that age, that is about the time where you kind of want to move them on, unless they can guarantee you more championships. That was the logic behind the Madden brand. It wasn't just, oh, this player is 29 years old, let's trade him. It's, do you have something for me in terms of getting me to the championship? Because again, the Rams kind of do the whole Madden thing. It's like, oh, we're going to bring in this player just to fill in this particular hole. So that is kind of the logic with that. You're kind of getting up there in age. Can you win your Super Bowl? No. Okay, let me trade you in and get somebody who's going to potentially win your Super Bowl 2 to 3 years down the road. So that's the logic behind the Madden brand. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay. I can see that. And then, and not only that, Al Davis was big on that. Get more juice for the squeeze, right?
Oh, and Chat's talking.
Like you said,
Chat's talking. So we chat. They're talking. To sack time.
Yeah, I'm gonna answer that too, because he makes a good point. But I'm just saying that if you can get more capital and re-up, and essentially, okay, I've used this player, I got his prime years out of him. He still maybe got like a prime 2 years or a year and a half, 2 years or whatever, where the team that we traded with don't feel like they're getting worked because they know that they got a 29-year-old player and his peak years is probably like up to 31 or something like that. Then yeah, this is the time to pull the trigger. And if your team is not trending up, then there's not really a need to keep him, because like people say, we were losing with him.
Yeah. Okay, so the Raiders are interested in that because we were not trending up with him, but the moment we lost him, we trended way up, and then him coming back, now it's like, oh, okay.
How did we trend way up when we got rid of Max?
No, I'm saying because we signed a bunch of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
We
signed a bunch of people. So then it became, oh, you got way better. Wait, just let Max stay and then just remain way better, right? Because
my argument is, why not do that while he was here? Because we still got him and we still did it. So that means it was possible. So really, it plays into Max's narrative that you guys didn't do all that you could in order to build a team around us, because it ended up happening anyway, but except for it happened on accident, so to speak.
I'll say surgery. That's the answer. Because even
I think that's a bad excuse, because Max only missed 7 games, right, in his career. And none of those games all of them was at the end of the season shutdown games. So it's not like he couldn't have played the season and then got the surgeries on the off season. So but we were trying to protect our investment by shutting them down and getting them back on the field faster.
And we're gonna get to the Mac Jones and Dak real quick, but answer this question. From the logic of the game, doesn't Max, who could potentially miss 5 games next year, is he more useful on the Raiders team that's rebuilding, or on another team that could use Max missing 5 games? Because again, let's say hypothetically, Max misses any game next season. I think the point is that we don't want a Max that could potentially be missing games, right?
You think Max is going to miss games next year at the beginning of the season? I don't
I
think
don't
that's what
know. I don't know. I
his
don't
surgery,
know.
his injury, and his recovery time doesn't dictate that. His injury is a repair of the meniscus. He got the
Okay.
meniscus repaired. It's not like he Jamar McCoy, and we don't know if he gonna fall apart any moment. They
And
actually fixed it.
what
They
what
fixed
about
it.
re-injuries? What about re-injuries? I'm saying this is part of the logic of trading for a max or trading away a max because the Ravens are thinking even if he misses 5 games, the games that we have him, he will be way more impactful for us and what we're trying to do than if he were to miss 5 games for the Raiders. Because if he missed 5 games for the Raiders, that just impacts us negatively because we're trying to rebuild.
Yeah, but he's not slated to miss any games though.
Okay. Well, if the
Yeah, but
knee, if his knee is fine, which it looks like it is, but again, he hasn't practiced. But if his knee is fine and it doesn't miss significant games, then yeah, having Max back. But I'm telling you right now, if Max ends up missing like 8 games, Raider Nation is
oh
gonna
no.
start talking and saying we should have traded him.
Well, that's anybody. I mean, anybody that missed 8 games, we're gonna say that. If Brock Bowers missed 8 games, then we're gonna be
Yeah,
like
please
he
tell me
injury
this
prone.
because
He
I know
got
you've been
hurt two
watching this,
years in a row.
right? I have not
But
seen this. I know you've been, but I have not seen this.
you haven't seen this? Okay, here's Max Crosby at the sack summit. He was racing against Jared Verse. Look, off the takeoff to see who hits the hand first, and he clearly beat him by a lot
Greatest.
too. He saw how
Okay.
he was looking, and then and then they asked him about it to see what he said. And this is what he said too. Those first couple steps, like I mean,
Greatest.
like if he
Bottom
was
line,
really
complete
injured,
inspire, and that's the beauty of this thing.
What speed are you able to go right
Ball.
now, Max? What speed are you able to go right
Ball.
now, Max, on the leg? With I know you want to go 110% today. How's the recovery in the leg going?
How do I look? I mean,
He looks 1,000%.
I feel amazing.
He's ready to go.
I feel amazing.
Ready to go.
Been incredible for sure.
Okay. Yeah. Look. I'm down. Right? If it's gonna be hate, it's not gonna be that kind of hate. I'm down. If Max is good to go, I'm down. But I also think that Raider Nation was anyone who was kind of happy to say, yeah, Max, you're getting a little bit older in age, and we know the way you play. Any kind of injury to you is going to hurt us more than it's going to hurt the Ravens. I also think that's a logical move for somebody to make in their head. And it's the reason why I was okay trading because I thought, you know what? We can get a younger edge, Akeem Messador, over trying to, again, run it back with the 29-year-old Max if he can be more useful for the Ravens, who may not need him the entire season. Look, the Ravens will have used him at the beginning of the season, and if he got injured, they will have rested him as long as it needed to do a playoff push. That was their plan. Right?
yeah, I think they didn't. I think they probably was thinking kind of like how you were thinking. Is he going to miss any games at the beginning of the season? And if he do miss 2 or 3 games, it didn't even have to be 5 games because
Exactly.
5 games
2
would
or
be a
3.
lot. If he'd have
2 or
missed
3.
2 or 3 games, then you would have been like having some level of concern. Or he comes in 2 or 3 games later, then he got to get used to playing on that team. Then it's going to take until the end of the season for him to start hitting his full stride, which wouldn't have necessarily been a bad thing, right? Um, I don't know. I just think really they just use that as an excuse because they got scared. Well, it wasn't buyer's remorse, but what is that when you scared to buy something or you scared to go in and pull the trigger on the deal? And that's essentially
Yeah.
what they were.
And again, once the other guy's team came along with a lower deal to say, hey, look, you're just trying to go for a playoff push because Derrick Henry is getting old. So the Ravens playoff push is really only in the next 3 years, right before Lamar Jackson starts getting to the point where it's like, okay, now your age is slowing you down a bit. So I think once they realize they can get somebody at a lower price and still maintain that first round pick, I think for them it just made more sense. And then to say, look, if Max's knee is not going to be maybe not ready, this guy's knee is ready right now. He will start the season for a lower price, 1-year deal, 2-year deal. That was better for them because they would have had to give Max a new deal.
But look what we replace him with. What he pay? That's not even a comparison though. Like really though.
Right. Moneyball. It's Quiddy pays
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Moneyball.
it's a Moneyball pick. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, Stone Raider, you right. It was Dennis Allen. He was here for a hot second.
Man, Dennis Allen was good though. It proved that he was good. We were just so impatient, man.
Yeah, we were impatient.
You guys have no idea how long the Raiders have been hiring and firing coaches. Pretty much after John Gruden, all we did was hire and fire coaches.
Yeah, and so Sacktown Raider Mike makes an excellent point. He said you have to remember back in those days, the Raiders were very poor financially. They didn't have that guaranteed money like they do now. Good point. Excellent point.
And it didn't even start becoming a major issue till like around 5 years ago. Where it's just like, okay, this not having money then is going to hurt. Obviously, that was the point where Mark Davis was getting the money, as we now found out. Turns out Mark Davis has been trying to get out that money, and guess what? The man got the money, which again, that's going to be Mark Davis's legacy, getting that money for the Raiders, because that was the next step. Like, yeah, we've got the legacy, but in the modern NFL, you need resources to keep up. Being able to get backed by $100 billion business company, that's Mark Davis' legacy to the Raiders. He literally made the Raiders a financially successful business for the next 50 to 100 years.
Mark Davis did that?
Well, $100 billion backing is a lot higher than what Al Davis did.
Now, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. I just don't think Mark Davis spearheaded that. He was just a beneficiary of it all.
As far as I know, Mark, he is the business guy, and that's how Al raised him. Al raised him to be the business guy. Because Mark doesn't know football, right? He's not a football mind. He's actually a business mind, and I believe that's how Al Davis raised him. Because the point was that he would take over the Raiders and take them to the next level. And I think as far as the financial side of it goes, yeah, he's done that. Now, can he get some Super Bowls? That would solidify him as a Hall of Fame in football if he could get some Super Bowls. Because again, Al is a Hall of Fame, right? Because he got 3 Super Bowls. If Mark Davis doesn't get any, I don't think he's going to be a Hall of Fame in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm not holding my breath for it. And what you say? That was the word I was looking for, Sacktown. Cold feet. When you get cold feet, yes, I think the Ravens got cold feet.
Yeah.
They were scared to pull the trigger on the deal because the messaging that the Raiders essentially got Tyler Lindenbaum and 2 first-round draft picks, and they just got Max Crosby.
Yeah. Okay, we should end soon here. Actually, we should end already.
Yeah. Let's see what he said. Amy Trask was willing and dealing to keep the Raiders afloat back then. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. A lot of people were doing the work because again, it takes a lot of work to get it. Just like it takes a lot of work to get a YouTube channel monetized or get us to the next level. We need those likes. We need those comments. We need those that support to keep going. It was the same process to get the Raiders to where they are now, and that process was to build the legacy and then showcase that legacy to secure the funds to keep that legacy going. So yeah, I hope Mark Davis can win a Super Bowl because if he does, he will be a Hall of Famer. But
yeah. Well, we thank you guys. We appreciate you guys for hacking into the show. We appreciate the love. We appreciate the loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all already know it's one nation. The only nation is the only nation all day, every day.
From the Bay
to LA to Las Vegas.
Raider,
though.
I'm a Raider. From the Bay to LA to Las Vegas. Rest in peace to Al Davis.